More is Illinois Congresswoman Newman. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. So just off the heels of your victory in November, you're sworn into office at the beginning of the month, a newly minted Congresswoman, only to have to endure a siege on the Capitol. Would you mind sharing with us where you were and what you saw?
So I was in an undisclosed location on the greater Capitol campus. I was not in the Capitol, although many of my colleagues were in the gallery and on the House floor when this all really erupted and they breached the Capitol.
So, there's a lot of finger pointing going on right now, and a lot of it has to do about the police there and how they manage or mismanage the crowds. This ended up resulting in riots. In your opinion, what do you think needs to happen between now and Inauguration Day to make sure that everybody is safe?
Well, they have made a lot of vast improvements in how we're partnering with all of our many security forces. And remember, the Secret Security actually runs inauguration, and they've been doing it for decades and centuries now. So let's be clear, they know what they're doing. Clearly, the Trump administration said no to us many times when we asked for help. I believe that the mayor of D.C., the chief of police, and several others asked for help several times through the course leading up to the actual January 6th event, and then all day long. Finally, we got the resources that they needed. But I want to be clear, the Capitol Police were heroes. They were in hand-to-hand combat much of the day, and they saved many, many lives. So these domestic terrorists that attacked our Capitol, and I want to be clear on it, they're seditionists, they are domestic terrorists and white supremacists, and there's no other way to describe them. They attacked our Capitol, and these very brave men and women held them off with very few resources for hours until the National Guard was allowed to come in. And gratefully, the National Guard did a great job, too. But this was at the hands of the Trump administration, clearly denying us what we needed.
Well, speaking of the Trump administration, Congresswoman, there seems to be debate among rank-and-file Democrats with regard to how to handle impeachment. I know your colleague, Congressman Clyburn of South Carolina, wants a House vote, yes, but then perhaps pocket it until after Joe Biden takes office. Where do you stand this morning?
Yeah, that is a difficult discussion because there are a lot of good points on both sides of that discussion. What I will say is the House is doing their business. This president is dangerous, and our critical and most focused effort is to remove him from office. He is not well, and he is not a patriot. He is sinister at the very least, and has incited violence, incited sedition, and many other things. We must remove him. So we're being very laser focused. So our work over the next day or two is to try to remove him as quickly as possible. Longer term, we will use the Constitution. How about that? And allow for the Senate trial to occur when the Senate is ready to do so. So I will leave it to the Senate to determine when the trial is. Leadership of both houses are in constant contact on this topic, and the Biden administration will have say in this as well.
How concerned are you that going forward with all of this is going to be a distraction for Joe Biden when he gets into office, and as he's trying to work on the first 100 days, which everybody kind of looks at as a benchmark of his ability to lead? How concerned are you that all of this will make that even more difficult for the new president?
Well, I have good news for everybody. Is the Biden administration, House leadership, Democrats, Senate Democrats are all interested in unity. We also have some great colleagues on the other side of the aisle that are being very reasonable and fair and supporting our efforts. And we're going to get more of them because patriots of this country are interested in unity. So guess what? We can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can make sure that we are crushing this virus and getting the vaccine distribution out equitably and expeditiously. We can start working on the economy right away and get people back to work. And then lastly, we can start going about the business of the country as soon as we can. It doesn't mean that because we're taking care of this traitorous, dangerous president that we can't continue to crush the virus and continue to bring the economy back. I have just had discussions with a lot of my colleagues on transportation and infrastructure and small business. We are starting meetings next week, and we are going to bring the economy back, and we are going to end this pandemic.
This is our first chance to speak to you since you were sworn into office, and it's great to have you on Good Day Chicago. I got to ask you, you pulled off one of the big upsets of the year when you took down Dan Lipinski, and at the time you said, "I'm a real Democrat." I bring it up because, boy, the stars have aligned for you. You've got the House, you've got the Senate, you've got the White House. What in your mind is goal number one once we get past all of this?
So it depends on what you mean about getting past things, but we do have to focus, and I think I'm like all Americans, we have got to focus on crushing this virus, getting vaccine distribution out the door properly instead of this bungled mess we have from this administration. So correcting vaccine distribution, making sure that we take all the precautions around COVID, and very, very importantly, getting relief to small businesses, to individuals, direct cash payments, making sure that we're supporting states, towns, and cities so that they can provide community services and social services to those in need. So that's job number one. And equal to that, bringing back this economy, investing in infrastructure, transportation, in very large-scale green stimulus package that will, in fact, make our economy robust again and get everybody back to work.
All right, we want to thank you very much for joining us this morning.